All right, so I'm making a couple changes to the channel. The first thing is that this is going to focus on an RTS for the next while. The second thing is I have a Patreon. Third thing is I want to get your involvement in it. So let's start going how some of these changes are going to work. To begin with, I'm going to be reusing and regenerating new key videos for this channel, the ones that show up here. And that is going to be focused on what the key topic is. So right now it's a real-time strategy game. So going into the next one, real-time strategy games, I have an RTS course out there for how to create a real-time strategy game in Unity 5.5. Now that's old. That should be retired. You might be able to still find it if you search for it specifically on LinkedIn, LinkedIn Learning. So I created that. I also had another one for procedural terrain for ever ago, a Unity 5.5 again. But it was 4.5 hours long, and that was full code coverage of everything. So it was very minimalist. There's no way you can cover everything, build an entire RTS in 4.5 hours of actual work on it. Because that's what it was. It was a recording of every step being produced. This time, I want to go beyond that. For the navigation, I had to limit myself to just NavMesh by itself. But NavMesh and NavMesh Agent in Unity is really just the tip of the iceberg. It gets the basic foundation. It works pretty well if you're using just a few things moving around. But if you've ever tried to move a clump of units at the same time, they start this spinning flower thing. And it might look pretty, but it's absolutely not what you want. Well, maybe someone developed a game where that is exactly what you want. So with this, I wanted to go beyond that. So I'm generating classes on the AI. I was going through some of the test project, and this is the proof going off of the free stuff for the visuals. And I've got most of the things kind of worked out. So I'm going to start the actual course now. And rather than releasing on Udemy, I'm going to release here for free. And I'd like to try to recoup some of the expenses, some of the time and energy that I'm putting into this, hopefully through Patreon. So please, by all means, like and subscribe to the channel and follow on Patreon. Start subscribing on Patreon. And any Patreon subscribers are going to have access to a private Discord where I start discussing openly what the future of these videos are, of the RTS, of how it's being created, of what's happening with it. And if we start changing the direction, like we have enough done on the RTS, and we're going to move on to another topic for the time being, I'll be discussing those there as well. And I'll be using it to take polls on what people's interests are, what directions I should take, what difficulties you run into. I'll try to help out with bugs when I can that other people are running into. And then also just doing brainstorming and general discussions of how can we improve this, and trying to get more people involved in that, and your approaches to code and how you've solved some of the same types of challenges that I'm walking through. I'd love to hear what all of these are and potentially share some of your experiences out to the channel overall, to the YouTube channel as well. So anyway, please like, subscribe to the channel, the playlist, whatever, and follow me on Patreon. And I'll see you in Discord. Thanks.